Resources can be classified on the following ways. Number one, on the basis of origin, how these resources are available on this earth. On that origin basis, resources are of two different types, that is, biotic and abiotic resource. Biotic resources are those resources which are having life, and abiotic resources are those resources which does not contains any life. Examples of biotic resources are we human beings, plants, animals, etc. And examples of abiotic resources are minerals, soil, air, sunlight, etc. Second one is on the basis of exhaustibility. On these based, resources are of two different types. One is renewable, another one is non-renewable. Renewable resources are those resources which can be renewed again and again, as it is showing by its name also, renewable. Re means again, new means in the new form, and which is capable. All those resources which can be used again and again, known as renewable resources. For example, solar energy, wind energy, etc. Non-renewable resources are those which cannot be renewed again. Once we will use them, they will be finished from this earth. For example, fossil fuels, coal, petroleum, etc. On the basis of ownership, again the resources are divided into the different forms. They are individual resources, community resources, national resources, and international resources. Individual resources are those resources which are owned privately by individuals. For example, my house, my car, my pencil, my copy, all those things which belongs to a particular person, known as individual resource. Community resources are those which can be accessible by all the members of the community. For example, public park, picnic spots, playground, etc. National resources are those resources which are owned by a nation or a country. All those minerals, here we can use the political boundary of a country. All those minerals which are available within the political boundary of the country is known as national resource, because all those resources are coming under the government of that country. This is about the land masses. What about those areas which are in the water bodies? Because on the land we can easily understand about the political boundaries. For water bodies also there are some areas which are considered within a country. That area is 12 nautical miles or 22.2 kilometer from the coastal area of that country is known as the territorial water, which is coming under the national resource. It means, for example, in our western coast, from there We can avail those all resources which are coming in Arabian Sea from the western coastal area up to the 12 nautical miles in the Arabian Sea. That comes under the national resource. Another examples are roads, canals, railways, as it is mentioned here. International resources. International resources are those which are not coming inside the political boundary of any country, but these resources are beyond that all. And these resources are regulated by the international institutions. In this, we considered the oceanic resources. For example, the areas of Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, etc. In these areas, also some distance is prescribed for a particular country. That is 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone, which belongs to an open ocean, and no individual country can utilize these without the concurrence of international institution. It means all those resources which belongs up to the 200 nautical miles from a country economical exclusive zone is known as the international resource. Now, the fourth basis on which the resources are divided, that is on the basis of their development. There are so many different types of resources which are presently in use, but there are few resources about which we are knowing but we are not using them. So, on this status of development, resources once again divided into the four different types, that is potential resource, developed resource, stock resource, and reserve resources. At first, we will talk about potential resource. Potential resources are those resources about which we know everything, but we are not capable to use them. These resources are not in use. For example, with our country India, in the western states of Gujarat and Rajasthan, we are having the enough potential to use the solar energy. But because of some problems, we are not using them as we can use. That's why these resources are known as the potential resource for country India. Developed resource are those resources about which we are knowing everything, and on that basis we are using them. Their quantity, their quality, and according to them we are using also, that is known as developed resource. Stock resources are those resources about which we are knowing that the resource is available on this earth, but we are not knowing the technology by using which technology we can use that resource, and due to the lack of the technology, lack of the appropriate technology, we are unable to access those resources is known as stock resource. For example, earth is covered with water. Its 71% area is covered with water, and water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. But we are unable to separate this hydrogen and oxygen from water due to the lack of that appropriate technology. Such kind of resources are known as stock resource. The last one is a reserve resources. Reserve resources are those resources about which we are knowing that by using this technology we can use them, but we have not started using those technology. We have left those resources for the future requirements. That is known as a reserved resources. Let's give a quick view to this chart. Resources. There are the two different types of resources. One is natural resource and another one is human made resource. Natural resource divided again into two different types. One is the renewable resource which can be used again and again, and another one is the non-renewable resource which cannot be used again and again. Renewable resource is again divided into the two groups, that is continuous or the flow, that is wind and water, as I have given the example of a solar energy and wind energy. This comes under the renewable resource. Another one is the biological. Biological, once again coming into the two different groups. One is the natural vegetation, that is the forest, and the another one is wildlife. In non-renewable resources, it is also divided into the two different types. One is recyclable, for example metals such as iron. We can use iron for some limited time periods by smelting them again and again until and unless it will not finish from this earth. But another are those non-renewable resources which will finish just after their one use. For example, petroleum and coal, fossil fuels. When we talk about the human resources, it is also of the two different type. One is structures and institutions. For example, school, hospital, etc. And another one is the quantity and quality. So these are the another different types of resources. Now we will discuss about the development of resources. Resources are used from the ancient time period when human being came in the form of human being and started living on this earth. From that time period, man is using these resources to satisfy their need. When they were spending their life as a food gatherer, then changed his life into the food cultivator or producer. In every ages, human beings use these natural resources. As the time developed, these resources uses are also developed. But these resources were not developed equally by the every people. These resources have been used by human being indiscriminately, and this has led to the major problems to the earth. Those problems are depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of few individuals. Another one is accumulation of resources in a few hands, which in turn divided the society into the two segments, that is rich and poor. And the third one is it has led to the global ecological crisis such as global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution and land degradation. Because of these different reasons, the term resource planning become essential. And in this term, the sustainable economic development term was developed for the resource planning. Now the question arises here, what is sustainable development? Sustainable development means the development of resources in such a way which can be used by future generation for a longer time period without harming the environment for socio-economic development of the society. This term is known as sustainable development. The reason behind is the use of resources by everyone in a proper way, so that we can prevent our environment also without damaging, as well as resources can be prevented for the future generations say, and it can be used wisely for the development of a society for the whole earth. In this field, in our country also, the resource planning has been adapted. In India, the resources are not equally distributed everywhere. There are few places which are rich in the forest resources, but there are some places which are rich in the mineral resources. Now, how to use these resources in a balanced way for the development of nation, for the development of a state, for the development of a regional and the local areas, comes under the resource planning in India. The resource planning is a very complex process. Why? What is the reason? Because of these following reasons. Number one, identification and inventory of resources across the region of the country. This involves surveying, mapping, qualitative and quantitative estimation and measurement of resources. Second one is involving a planning structure endowed with the appropriate technology, skill and institutional setup for implementing resource development plans. And the third one is matching the resource development plans with the overall national development plan. Because of these different reasons, resource planning is known as a complex process. Resources can contribute in the development as well as they can accompanied by appropriate technology developed and institutional changes. India has made concerted efforts towards achieving the goals of resource planning, right from the first 5-year plan launched after independence. Now we are going to cover about land resources. Land resources, which is a natural resource and the most important resource. What is the reason? Because it supports natural vegetation, wildlife, human life, economic activities, transport, and communication system. Due to these different reasons, land resource is known as one of the most important resource. This land resource is available in this earth into different relief features. In India, land resource comes into plains, mountains and plateaus. Total land of India. Through this pie chart, you can understand the important relief feature of land resource about the country India. 43% part of Indian land comes under the plain areas. 30% areas occupied by mountains and 27% areas comes under the plateau region. The land resources are utilized in India into the different forms. They are forest, land which is not under the cultivation, which is actually not suitable for the cultivation, and that land is separated. Third, barren land and wasteland, and the land which is not for agriculture. Fourth one is fallow land. Fallow lands are those lands which are suitable for cultivation but left for some certain time period away from cultivation so that they can regain their fertility. Other uncultivated lands, excluding fallow land, it means those lands on which the constructional activities are made, such as roadways, railways, industrial areas, urbanization, etc. And the sixth one is net shown area, which means that all agricultural land which is actually under the cultivation in a year, that area is known as net shown area. In our country, land use pattern is influenced or determined by two different factors. One is physical factor and the another one is human factors. Physical factors such as topography, for example, plateau area, plain regions, desert areas, how the land will be utilized in these all different parts. Plain areas are having more fertile land, so net shown areas are more there. Desert areas have a arid soil which is not suitable for cultivation. Plateau regions are rich in the mineral deposits, so once again it is not under the cultivation. So topography also decide, and it is a natural factor which decide about the utility of land. In the same way, climate and soil type. Which type of soil is found in the area and what type of climate is there? Whether the climate is favorable for cultivation, climate is suitable for development of any industry, as well as soil types. So these are the physical factors, natural factors which determine about the utility of land. Next one is the human factor. What are those factors? They are population density and technological capability, as well as cultural and traditional activities. These things also affect the utility of land. If any area is more densely populated, then the land will be under the urbanization. If any area is under the mining sector or industrial region, then the technological capability is affecting that area. Utility will be decided on that basis. And there are some areas which are under the forest or under the tribal people. They are according to the culture and traditional activities. Here is one pie chart which actually compares the uses of land from the year 1960-61 to the year 2014-15. How this land use pattern has been changed within these much years. What was the condition of land use pattern in the year 1960-61, as you can show through this chart. During the year 1960-61, 46.26% area was under the non-agricultural uses. It means the area is not for agriculture. 18% area is forest area. 18% area is barren and uncultivated wasteland. Wasteland means the land which is not suitable for agriculture. Barren land, once again the same type of land which cannot be used for agriculture. And here we can see 4.71%, this purple color, which is a permanent pasture land for grazing of animals. The state of Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh is known for the pasture land. So this is the pattern, land use pattern of the year 1960-61. Now let's look towards the year 2014-15. How the land has been used during this time period. What is the condition of land use pattern during this time period? During the year 2014-15, 45.5% area is under the cultivation, that is net shown area, which is actually under the cultivation. 23% area under the forest region. Let I explain you one more thing. According to the total geographical area of India, 33% area should be under forest. Now through this pie chart you can see still we are having only 23% area under the forest land. Still we are 10% behind. In the same way you can see here the current fallow land, the percentage of that area has decreased compared to the year 1960-61 and 2014-15. So here it is a comparison given between the land use pattern in our country India between the years 1960s and 2014-15, how it has changed. Now we will discuss about the another important factor, say, that is land degradation and conservation measures. What are those factors which are responsible for the land degradation in our country, and how can we conserve? What are those different measures which can be taken by our government or which can be used by us to conserve land? Then there are some common factors which are responsible for the land degradation, such as of deforestation, overgrazing, mining, even the improper practice of agriculture, that is also responsible for the land degradation. The state of Punjab and Haryana land is degrading in that areas due to the over irrigation, and that is land is changing into the slime land because of the excess irrigation system in that region. The state Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, these areas land is degrading because of the overgrazing. Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, their areas are degrading, their land is degrading because of the mining and the quarrying activities. So these are the different factors, because of that the land is degrading. How can we prevent land degradation? So these are the methods through which we can prevent land degradation. For example, afforestation and the proper management of grazing, planting of a shelter belt of plants. Shelter belts means a planting of trees along with the roadsides, canal sides, river sides in a queue is known as shelter belts. Stabilization of sand dunes by growing thorny bushes in desert areas, for example in the state of Rajasthan. Proper management of wastelands. How can we convert wasteland into the fertile land by using manures, chemical fertilizers, irrigation method? Once again, the example I can give you from the northwestern part of Rajasthan. After the development of Indira Gandhi Canal, that wasteland is converted into the agriculture land, and today it is one of the largest producing area of ragi and wheat in our country. Controlling of mining activities, as I have given right now the example of the state Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, where there are the number of mines from where the minerals are extracted. By controlling that, we can prevent land degradation. Now we are going to cover the last topic of the chapter, that is soil resource. Soil is one of the another most important renewable natural resources. It is because it is the medium of plant growth and supports different types of living organism on the earth. But formation of a soil is not so easy process. It takes millions of years to come into this form. There are the various processes through which the soil is formed. Various factors are playing their role in the formation of a soil. There are the so many natural agents which are playing their great role, such as temperature, action of running water, wind, glaciers, activities of decomposers. This all plays a great role in the formation of soil. Now the question arises, what is soil? Soil is the uppermost layer of the earth which support the growth of plants. The another factor is the soil profile. Soil profile means the parent rock or the bedrock which converted into the subrocks because of the climatic changes, vegetation and the other different forms of life which play their role. After that it converts into the subsoil and later on it change into the soil. And in the changing of a parent rock into the formation of soil, the factors which play their role is climate, vegetation, say. These are the important factors. Chemical and organic changes which take place in soil also play an important role to determine about the quality of soil. Soil also consists of organic and inorganic materials. Now we will discuss about the classification of soil. In our country India, on the basis of different factors such as formation of soil, color of soil, thickness of soil, texture, age, physical properties, the soil is classified into 6 different types. First one is alluvial soil, which is also known as the most fertile soil. And the whole northern plain is consists of or made up of alluvial soil. Alluvial soils are made by Himalayan rivers, and the important rivers which play great role in the formation of this alluvial soil is the river Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra. These 3 rivers along with their tributaries made the alluvial soil in the northern plains. State-wise, it is found in few parts of Rajasthan, Gujarat, eastern coastal plains, especially in the deltas areas, deltas of Krishna, Godavari, Kaveri, Mahanadi and Ganga Brahmaputra. The property of a alluvial soil is it consists of sand, silt and clay. As we move in inland, say, towards the river valleys, soil particles appear to be bigger in size, whereas the upper side of the river valley, the soil are coarse. On the basis of age, alluvial soil are divided into the 2 groups, old alluvial and new alluvial. Old alluvial is known as Bhangar and new alluvial is known as Khadar. Bhangar soil has a high concentration of kankar nodules, and Khadar soil are having fine particles and it is more fertile as compared to Bhangar. Alluvial soil contains adequate proportion of potash, phosphoric acid and lime, which is ideal for the growth of sugarcane, paddy, wheat and the other cereal crops. That's alluvial soil is suitable for the cultivation of crops. Now, another important soil is black soil. Black soil is also known as a regular soil and cotton soil. as its support in the cultivation of cotton. It is also known as cotton soil. Black soil is made up of lava rocks. Climatic condition along with the parent rock material are the important factors for the formation of black soil. It is found in the Deccan Trap, covered with the basalt resin, northwest of Deccan Plateau, which is made up of lava flows. State-wise, black soil found in the state of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Saurashtra region of Gujarat, Malwa region of Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh state. Black soil is an extremely fine clay material and well known for their capacity of holding moisture. It is nutrient rich and contains calcium carbonate, magnesium, potash, and lime. Black soil is sticky and when wet and difficult to work on unless tilted immediately after the first shower or during the pre-monsoon period. The third important type of soil is red or yellow soil. This soil is mainly found in the plateau region. This soil develops on the crystalline igneous rocks in area of low rainfall in the eastern and the southern part of Deccan Plateau. It develops a reddish color due to the diffusion of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rocks. It looks yellow when it occurs in a hydrated form. It is found in the state of Chhattisgarh, southern part of Madalganga, and along the pediment zone of Western Ghat. This is red soil. This is the picture of alluvial soil. This is black soil. Now we will discuss about laterite soil. The laterite soil developed under tropical and the subtropical climate with the alternate wet and dry season. In India, it is found on the western slopes of the Western Ghat. This soil is the result of dense leaching due to heavy rain. The soil supports deciduous and the evergreen forest, but the soil is very useful for the growth of tea and coffee. This is the picture of laterite soil. Our next type of soil is arid soil. Arid soil, which is mainly found in the desert area, where the rainfall is very less than 25 centimeter. It ranges from red to brown in color, and it is generally sandy in texture and slime in nature. Arid soil lacks humus and moisture. The lower horizon of soil are occupied by conker because of the increasing calcium content downwards. The conker layer formation in bottom horizon restrict the infiltration of water. and the picture of arid soil. Now the last type of soil is forest soil, which is mainly found in the hilly areas. Forest soil doesn't mean the soil which is found in the forest area. No. Forest soils are those soils which is found in the hilly areas. And as all of you know, the northern part of our country is covered with the high mountains and hills. So these areas which is covered with the soil is known as forest soil. The texture of a forest soil is loamy and silty in valley sides and coarse grained in the upper slopes. In snow-covered areas of Himalayas, these soil experience a denudation and are acidic with the low humus contents. This soil is fertile on the river terrace and alluvial fans. Let's give a quick look towards the map of India where which type of soil is found. This is the map of India, which shows the different type of soil found in different areas in our country. Northern part covered with forest and mountain soils. After that, the northern plain, which is covered with alluvial soil. Western part of India, arid soil with the yellow color. The central part we can see with the greyish color, black soil. Rest, central and the southern part covered with red and yellow soil. So these are the major areas which consist of the different type of soil, major soil types in India. Now we are going to cover the last topic of the chapter, that is soil erosion and soil conservation. What are the factors, what are the agents, what are the reasons due to which the soil erosion occurs? But before going to that topic, I would like to explain what is soil erosion. Soil erosion means removal of the top layer of fertile soil due to any reason. It may be running water, it may be moving wind. When they wash away the top fertile layer of the soil, it is described as soil erosion. As it is mentioned here, the denudation of the soil cover and the subsequent washing down is described as soil erosion. Now, what are the agents of soil erosion? Natural agents are, as I have described, running water or moving wind. But not only the natural factors are there. They are the human activities equally responsible for the soil erosion, such as deforestation, overgrazing, concentration and mining activities, etc. So, natural elements are wind and water, and human activities are deforestation, overgrazing, constructional activities, mining, etc. The running water cuts through the clay soil and make deep channels are known as gullies, and these gullies are very common in the state of Madhya Pradesh near the Chambal Valley region. And these gullies made the land, it convert the land into bad land. When the top layer of such fertile soil eroded by running water into the form of sheet from a large area, then it is referred as sheet erosion. And when it is eroded by wind, it is known as wind erosion. Now the question arises, how can we prevent soil erosion? There are many different methods to prevent soil from erosion. In the different areas, different methods are adopted for soil conservation. For example, plugging along the contour lines declarated the flow of water down the slopes. This is known as contour plugging. In hilly areas, to prevent soil erosion, terrace cultivation is the another method in which hilly areas are cut down into the form of steps and then it is cultivated. In India, it is mainly practiced in the western and central Himalaya region. Third method is strip cropping. When a large field is divided into strips and strips of grasses are left to grow between the crops to prevent soil from wind is known as strip cropping. And the another method is a shelter belt, which means planting of trees in line to create a shelter helps in the stabilization of sand dunes and in stabilizing the desert in western India. And rows of such trees are called shelter belt. Thank you.